ask the court to continue the mutual sequestration order that the court entered into last time if the officer in charge of the government is here. I don't have an objection to that individual.
Yes, Your Honor, and then we'll seek what?
Witnesses are hereby ordered sequestered.
You're going to be second call.
I do.
Judge, there's a stipulation to the autopsy protocol. We do not have the ME or exhibit stipulated to the report. People's proposed exhibit 1, we'd like to enter as stating that the death is a gunshot wound to the abdomen and manner of death is homicide.
All right.
May I publish to the court?
Yes.
Want to look at
Is
this?
that
I have a copy. You think, Your Honor, for the purposes only of the preliminary examination, we do not have we do stipulate for it, allow the court to move for attention.
Oh, very good. Exhibit 1, based upon that stipulation, is admitted.
And how long have you been employed there? 4.5 years. I'm going to direct your attention to June 18th, 2023. Were you working that day?
I was.
What shift were you working?
Midnight.
And were you in a marked patrol car in a uniform? Were you dispatched? Actually, who were you working with that night?
Deputy Kelly.
Okay. And were you dispatched to 150 Stevens Drive in Ypsilanti Township?
I was.
Okay. And what was the nature of that dispatch?
Right here is a critical legal moment. The parties stipulate that the gunshot wound to the abdomen resulted in a manner of death classified as homicide. That doesn't mean murder. Legally, homicide simply means one human caused the death of another. But by stipulating to it, the defense isn't fighting the medical cause of death at this stage. Instead, they're strategically shifting the battleground. This preliminary exam isn't about proving guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. It's about probable cause. Does enough evidence exist to move this case forward? Notice how the prosecution methodically establishes employment history, dispatch time, and arrival details. They're building a clean timeline. The 1:40 a.m. call, arrival at 1:48, a black pickup leaving, a man bleeding on the ground. Each brick reinforces probable cause. But here's the bigger question for you. If a firearm was later found near the victim, how might that shape a potential self-defense argument down the line?
Or some type of disorderly between a male and a female.
Okay. And that location, 150 Stevens Drive, is that an apartment complex?
Yes.
And what time were you dispatched?
1:40 in the morning.
And what time did you arrive there?
Around 1:48.
Okay. And when you're walking through the complex, did you see any vehicles exiting or entering the complex?
Yes, it is.
And what type of vehicle was it?
It was a black pickup truck.
Okay. And what did you do when you saw that black pickup truck?
I radioed that information to other responding units to have them stop the pickup truck because it was leaving the area.
Okay. And when you got closer, or when you started walking towards the apartment buildings, what did you observe besides the black pickup truck?
So the pickup truck was driving away as I continued walking towards the address there. I observed a male laying on the ground, surrounded by blood, and a female kneeling next to him.
Okay. And were you able to get identification of the female?
Yes.
And who was it? Okay. And what was she wearing that night? She was in pink, you said? Okay. And then the injured male's name, you said he had blood surrounding him. Did you see an injury or observe an injury that night?
I did.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
There was a hole on his right side, and then there's another hole kind of near his back on the left side as well.
Was that consistent with a bullet hole? Okay. And were you able to get the identification of the male, injured male?
Yeah.
And who was that?
Jermaine McClendon.
Okay. Densmore? Okay. And then after you're done, you obviously rendered aid to the victim. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then after you guys secured the scene, where did you end up going after that?
I transported Alicia back to our main station to the detective bureau.
Okay. And did you eventually have contact with the Martez Robinson?
Yes.
Is he in court?
Yes.
Can you point to him, identify an article of clothing he's wearing?
He's saying that they were at theirs in green shirt.
Your Honor, please let the record reflect the witness has minute in court identification of the defendant.
Without objection, record shall so reflect.
And how did you have contact with him?
After he was, at the detective bureau, interviewed by the detectives, I transported him down to the jail.
Okay. And did you go down and look at the truck or did you go down and look at, did you go look at the truck that was involved in this case?
Yes, I did.
Was when it was in your custody, Washington County's custody?
Yes.
Was it the same truck that you saw leaving the apartment complex that night? Was a gun found in that vehicle that night? May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
I'm handing you what's been marked as people's proposed exhibit to you. Do you recognize that?
I do.
Is that the same gun that was found located in the black pickup truck that night?
Yeah.
Is that true and accurate copy of the pictures that were taken or the gun that was located?
Yeah.
Your Honor, people move to admit people's proposed exhibit 2 as exhibit 2.
Any objection or voir dire?
Yeah, I'll want your briefly.
Yes, go ahead.
Officer, was it Deputy Van Doorn, good morning.
Morning. Yes.
That picture that you're looking at, did you take those photographs, or is that the photograph that is just being presented to you and you recognize where it's from?
I did not take the photograph. It's the one that's presented.
Okay, when you saw this firearm that you're testifying to that you saw, was it in that location where you're seeing it right now in that photograph?
No, it's not.
Okay, and where was it?
It was between the front passenger seat and the front passenger door of the black pickup truck.
So on the opposite side, opposite the driver's side.
Correct.
Okay. How is it? Well, I don't have any further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Any objection to the admission?
I don't have an objection.
All right. Exhibit 2 is admitted. Thank you.
Thank you. He asked my follow-up question, so I have no more questions. Thank you.
All
May I
right.
publish it to the court, Your Honor?
Yes. We can do it ourselves. Don't worry about it. All right. Cross-examination.
Again, good morning. Yep. May it please the court? So Deputy Van Doorn, would you describe yourself as well, first and foremost, I'm going to ask you some questions. If you don't understand them, let me know, and I'll try to rephrase or restate the question so you do understand. Is that fair? All right. Now, when you were involved in this investigation or approaching this scene back on June 18, 2023, that was the date, is it not?
Yeah.
All right. Let me ask you, if you looked at your report briefly, would that refresh your memory to that date? May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
I am showing you a document that it appears to be your report. Okay. So as I asked you about June 18, 2023, does that refresh, having looked at that report, does that refresh your memory to that being the date and time that you approached a scene in the area of Ypsilanti Township? All right. I guess I was presumptuous about a scene. You didn't know what you were approaching. You had a dispatch call that took you to that location. Is that fair?
Yeah.
All right. You said that you were working with someone else by the name of Deputy Kelly. Okay. Is that an individual that's in your car or in another car that you're working in conjunction with? Okay. Now, when you come to this location, you said you came to this location as a result of a dispatch call out. Is that fair?
That's fair.
All right. When you received that dispatch call out, were you aware of anyone else who was approaching that scene or going to that scene, working in the similar function as you're working?
Yes.
Okay. Who else?
Pretty much the entire shift.
Okay. The entire shift was coming as a result of, you described it as a disorderly with a male on female?
That is correct.
Okay. And when you say disorderly with male on female, that represents to you, as you heard it or as you understood it, to be a male assaulting a female or being disorderly towards a female. Is that fair?
I would say no.
Okay, so what does it mean when you say male on female disorderly?
I believe I stated that it was a male and female.
Okay,
Disorder.
fair enough. And I may not have heard it. Okay. Now, you didn't have any information as to who was being disorderly. Is that fair? You had no information as to who or whether or not there was any particular allegations of an assault based upon the dispatch that you had. Is that fair? All right. And based upon that information of a disorderly involving a male and a female, you said the entire department was coming, or the entire shift that's on the road was coming?
So the original was for disorderly. As I was pulling into the complex. So, yes.
Let me ask you, something's changed along the way. All right. Okay, so my question is, initially, when you got the call about a disorderly male and female, is it your testimony that all of the shift was coming to that location?
Okay, not at the original.
Okay.
Once further information.
Okay.
That's when I first started.
At some time you received some additional, at the time when you received the additional information, you were already on the property ultimately where this location became what I would say a scene. Is that fair? All right. You saw a black truck leaving and exiting that location. Is that fair? When you saw that black truck, you had no information about what that black truck or to whom it belonged. Is that fair?
Yeah.
You had no information as to whether or not that black truck had anything to do with the scene that you were approaching. Is that fair?
In the disorderly, there was mention of a black truck somehow being involved.
Okay. Do you recall what it was that you recall? Do you recall that? Let me ask you. Now, when you come into that location, you're coming in, there's an ingress and egress to this complex. Is that fair? Would it be fair to characterize the location of these residences as a complex?
Yes.
Okay. There's a point of ingress and egress in which you came in. Is that fair?
There is a singular entrance into the complex.
Okay. And that's the singular exit point too. Is that correct? So you understand when I say ingress, egress, right? Okay. There's an entry point and there's an exit point of a singular entry point and exit point to this location. Fair enough?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And so when you're coming in that location, as you're coming in that location, you see this black truck leaving out. Do you not?
So I was further into the complex when I observed the black truck.
Okay.
It was not right at the entrance.
Okay.
Or where I would say I'm pulling from the main road into the complex.
Okay. And you would agree, as you saw that black truck wasn't driving erratically. Is that fair? Okay. That black truck wasn't speeding. Is that fair? All right. And were you able to make a general description of whether or not that was a male, female, black, or white individual driving that vehicle? Okay. Let me ask you another question. Are you the person in your vehicle? Are you driving or are you passenger?
I was driving.
Okay. Now, after you saw this black truck, would it be fair to say when you saw this black truck and did you pass by each other? Like you're going one direction and the black truck's going the opposite direction in which you were traveling?
I was on foot at the time, and yes, I was headed towards the dispatch location on foot.
Okay.
And the truck was passing.
Okay. And by that time, when you're on foot, would it be fair to say that you had not received the second dispatch call yet? Let me ask you, I'll just get to you heard of disorderly conduct as the initial dispatch. Is that fair?
Yeah.
And at some point in time, after you get out of your vehicle, you were alerted that there was a shot fired on a dispatch call. Is that correct?
That was as we were entering the complex, the updated information of the shots.
Okay.
Or a singular shot fired.
All right.
We then parked. Because of that new information that we received about the shot fired, we parked down from the location.
Okay.
Approached on foot to prevent ourselves from being shot.
Okay. Fair enough. You took a defensive position as to your approach. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
All right. Now, when you were in this location, you indicate throughout your testimony, not only my questions, but through Sister Counsel's questions, you said that we were approaching a specific location. Did you have an address in which you knew that you were going to be approaching?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recall what that address was? Or would you prefer to look at your report to tell me that? Would that refresh your memory?
Yes.
All right. May I approach again?
You may.
Thank you. I'm just going to give you a three-page document, which appears to be your report.
Correct.
Okay. When you don't read it out loud, but when you're done reading, just let me know and I'll come back and get it. That's my only comment. Maybe not. Did you get an opportunity to review your report? And did that, reviewing your report, did that refresh your memory as to where you were, the dispatch? Let me ask you, not to presume something, it was the dispatch information that led you to a specific location that you were going to. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Having had an opportunity to review the report, did it refresh your memory as to where that location was that you were going to approach?
Yeah.
And for the purpose of the record, what was that location?
150 Stevens Drive.
Okay. And could you describe to the court, well, 150 Stevens Drive, that is a townhouse?
It's a apartment, or apartment building.
Okay, it's an apartment building, and that's the specific numbered address, which you understand are apartments within the interior of that.
Correct, there are apartments inside.
Okay. Now, you said that you parked some distance away from 150 Stevens Drive. Have you ever been to that location before?
Yes.
Okay. And did you know where 150 Stevens Drive was?
Yes.
Okay. How far away did you park and then get out of your car from 150 Stevens Drive, an estimate?
That's it, 2 buildings now.
Okay. Would that be more than 200 yards?
Not good at estimating.
Okay. So when you say 2 buildings down, do you recall what area that you parked your vehicle in front of?
It'd be between 120 and 130.
Okay. All right. At the time, you're outfitted or accoutred with a body worn camera. Is that correct? Was it operable?
Yes.
Okay. And your body worn camera would represent where you were and what location you were when you got out of that vehicle. Is that fair? All right. Now, then you get out of that vehicle and you approach. You said you saw that black truck leaving the area, and you put out. Did you put out on dispatch, or did you put a request to be put out on dispatch for someone to stop that vehicle?
Yes.
Okay, and you did that because you had information from a prior dispatch that it was a black truck involved?
Correct.
Okay, do you know what information, or do you know in your mind what led you to believe that there was a truck involved?
Dispatch information.
No, I understand. Was it just merely the mention of a truck, or they said that the truck did something? What was it that you had as far as information that would lead you to believe that, or lead you to direct others to stop that vehicle?
It was involved in the situation. We had knowledge now that there was a gunshot fired.
Okay.
A gun fired.
Okay. Now, when you approached that scene, or when you approached, you said that you saw 2 individuals outside. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. When you saw those 2 individuals outside, you saw one was a man and one was a woman. Is that fair?
Fair.
Both black.
Yep.
All right. And you said you described the woman as wearing some pink clothing.
Correct.
All right. And you saw the male who was laying on the ground.
Correct.
All right. Was he face up, face down?
Don't remember.
Okay. You made some indication. Just a moment. You made some indication in your report that you said this individual, you described that individual as Jermaine in your report. Is that correct? All right. And that's who you indicate and you believe to be Mr. McClendon Dinsmore? All right. Now, you said something about agonal breathing. Can you tell me what you mean by that?
I mean, struggling to get oxygen.
Okay. Now, when you're making that representation, is the person in having answered that question, does that refresh your memory to the effect of whether that person was face up or face down?
So when I got there, I started looking for wounds, so I don't remember exactly where he was at when I started first arrived.
Okay, and so when you're looking for wounds, you're moving the body? Okay, and you're moving him, are you trying to administer aid?
Yes.
What kind of aid did you try to administer?
We applied pressure to both the holes, and then eventually after we lost a pulse, I performed CPR.
Okay, and you say you're talking about your partner, Kelly?
Yeah.
All right. Now, you also described that you found in this area while you were there, you found a firearm in close proximity to this individual who's laying on the ground, did you not? Okay, and you described this individual who's laying on the ground as approximately 10 feet from a black Cadillac, did you not? And you said sort of in between the 10 feet that was the distance between that individual laying on the ground and that vehicle, there was a firearm in between that, in that ambit of that 10 feet. Is that fair? Okay. And you then, because there was another lay person in that area, you went to that weapon and you made it safe. Is that fair? And by making it safe, you take the weaponry, or you take the firearm capability out of it. Is that fair? Or you remove the bullets. Now, when you say that this weapon was within the 10 feet ambit between that individual and the car, it was closer to the individual than it was to the car. Was it not?
I don't remember.
Okay. As you approach this individual, would you agree that if I'm looking at this podium as the young man who lay on the ground, would the vehicle be to the left or to the right or behind him?
You rephrase the question.
If I'm using the podium as the young man who lays on the ground, with respect to the relevant distance and location of that particular vehicle, would that, as you approach him, would the vehicle be to the left, to the right, or behind him?
So if I was walking towards the podium,
And this is the young man right here.
so I'd be walking towards him, the vehicle would be to my right,
Okay.
and the firearm would be between the vehicle and him.
Okay, so it would be to that individual's right. Is that fair?
It'd be to my right as I was approaching.
Okay, all right. Now, and you would agree that that weapon was closer to the individual than it was to the vehicle. Is that fair?
Again, I don't remember exactly where that.
Okay,
If you review the body camera, you can see exactly where it was placed.
okay. As you approach that individual, did you see, I understand your focus is on, your job as a law enforcement is preservation of life. Fair enough? Your safety, then preservation of life. Now, I understand your focus is on this young man who's laying on the ground, but as you approach, did you see this firearm that was between him and this vehicle? Okay, all right. It was in plain view, in other words. Okay. Now, when you you said at some point in time you conveyed Ms. Chandler to your precinct or to your police station. Is that fair? And when you conveyed her to the police station, was she free to leave, or was she going on her own volition?
I'm not sure.
Well, you were the one who was conveying her, right?
Correct.
Under what auspices and under what direction were you conveying her? Okay. So you were told to convey her by someone else who approached the scene. All right. You were not aware of, was she in handcuffs at the time?
That's my recollection, no.
Okay. And when you told her, I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm assuming you told her that you were taking her to the police station. Is that correct?
Again, I don't remember, but I would assume.
Okay. All right. And instead of, you would agree that you had some information and you recognized that at the time and prior to leaving that scene with Miss Chancellor, that you believe that her parents arrived at that scene. Is that correct?
Okay.
At the scene where this event happened at 150 South Stevenson Drive.
I know they showed up at our station here.
Okay.
This portion of testimony carries serious implications. A firearm is found within roughly 10 feet of the victim, in plain view, between him and a vehicle. The deputy makes it safe and renders aid. That detail alone could become central to the defense's narrative. Proximity matters. If the weapon was closer to the victim, it may support a claim that he was armed at the time of the confrontation. But the deputy repeatedly states he doesn't remember exact positioning without reviewing body cam footage. Those memory gaps, they can be exploited later in trial. We also hear about Ms. Chancellor being transported to the station, but the deputy doesn't recall whether she was free to leave or in handcuffs. That ambiguity opens another layer of scrutiny. Procedure matters in homicide investigations. At this stage, the court isn't deciding guilt. It's determining whether enough credible evidence exists to bind the case over for trial. The prosecution has established death by gunshot, presence of the defendant's truck, and recovery of a firearm. The defense is carefully challenging perception, timing, and assumptions. The real battle, justification versus criminal liability, is still ahead. If you found this case as intense and complex as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, especially on whether you think the black truck's departure signals guilt or coincidence. And don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.